What's up, guys, and welcome to another edition of Pro Wrestling Pulse on Seven Partners Pod. And I thought I fucking told you I want to be the only person with a hood up in this video.
I thought we agreed everyone was wearing hoods.
No, it's me and you wearing hoods right now. We're the fucking motherfuckers in this video wearing hoods. I wanted to be the only one wearing a hood. I told it in pre-production. I sat down here. I'm like, I got this new badass August Burns red fucking jacket at Goodwill, $2 You pointed it out to me. I will give you props for that.
Okay, fine.
Thank you for that. But then I said, next vid, I'm rocking this motherfucker with the hood up. So
I think I told you that I was going to wear a hoodie with it up the last video. I don't know why you're trying to steal the idea of me.
You might be wearing the hoodie right now. You rock that jacket. Literally, I think you sleep in it.
Fuck it. Just do the video. Fuck it.
I want to...
You can be the only one wearing a hoodie in this. Your hood up. I don't care. I don't care.
I really don't even want it up anymore because I wanted to...
Do the video.
Fine. Now we all don't have our hoods up. It's fine.
We don't have hood. None of us have hoods on.
None of us have hoods on.
So
whatever. Fuck it.
Let's do this.
In this edition of the Pulse, going to be giving you guys a Pulse Topix show. Haven't thrown one of these out towards you. Towards.
Pretty sure that's spelled right.
Towards you.
Don't play words with friends with this guy.
No, don't, because I will butt fuck you vocabulary. Throwing a Pulse Topix show at you guys. Had really a lot of topics that we could have thrown at you. I know the ones that me and Quaddy have done recently. Last couple topic shows, we've kind of just been fucking stretching for ideas and trying to pull shit out of our ass. But this one we had a ton to talk about. So we're going to be picking 3 out of here. We're going to have 2 TNA ones. Throwing a lot of TNA stuff at you, some stuff that you guys might not know about, and obviously stuff really hitting on all cylinders right now in TNA with what's been going on with their biggest storyline going on in TNA. And then we have obviously a big WrestleMania discussion at the end of this video here, kind of our outlook towards what's going to be going on in a couple weeks at WrestleMania 29. First off, we're going to be starting out with the TNA pay-per-views that obviously they were been talking about. They're going to be cutting down on their main regular pay-per-views. It went down from 1 every month to now they're only going to be doing it looks like 4 a year, at least main-wise pay-per-views. But there's these shows that they were telling us about that they're still going to be throwing out to us. It looks like a couple months or in between the main pay-per-views that they're going to be calling one night only pay-per-views, one night only shows or whatever. They're going to be talking about. Ryan showed me one of the cards for one of them, and I just got hella intrigued by what they're going to be doing there. And it seems like, we're not going to tell you guys. I know some of you guys don't want to know. Maybe if you want to see it, even though it is taped.
We don't tell spoilers.
We won't be telling anybody spoilers. So if you guys want to check these out on your own, go ahead. We'll tell you at least the concepts of these shows and the names of them, stuff like that. If you guys want to go check them out, they're up there online. You could figure or check them out there on your own. But Ryan sent me one of the cards for one of these, and it just looked outstanding and really looked like it was something that we've seen in the past to TNA and the great stuff that they usually put on their cards. But obviously we've seen what they've been doing with the more storyline driven things and not using a bunch of guys. A lot of these guys that are on these shows are guys that we have not seen in a long time and not really focused on that much. We have 4 shows that we know about right now that they've taped this past weekend in Orlando. I think some of the last TNA tapings they'll be doing in Orlando in the Impact Zone, obviously just having their first live show outside the Impact Zone in Chicago this past week, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But we have the show called TNA 10. We have a TNA title tournament. I don't know, interesting stuff going on there. We have this Hardcore Justice 2 show, which Quaddy looked up and told us the card to this, which just intriguing stuff going on here. And we have the World Cup of Wrestling with teams. Obviously, we've seen the World X Cup that TNA used to do in the past, doing the international teams, the Team TNAs, and all that kind of stuff, Team Canada's they used to do in the past. So interesting stuff there. But and looking at these cards, there's a lot of stuff we have not seen in TNA in a very long time. And the guys we haven't seen, they're bringing back some former talent and talent we've never seen in TNA before, and doing a lot of interesting match types and all this kind of stuff, especially with the Hardcore Justice one, which is interesting stuff there. The entire tournament that they had with a lot of their main stars in that tournament as well. But a lot of this stuff is kind of up in the air, where it's going to happen at, when it's going to happen, if it's going to be a pay-per-view you could buy, TV-wise, if you can only watch it on TNA's website, if they're going to put it up on YouTube, only going to come out on a DVD, whatever the hell it's going to be, it's going to come out some, form or fashion, but we don't really know the extent of it right now. TNA themselves has not really came out there and explained these kind of shows yet. They've said they're going to be these one-night-only shows. They've had them kind of got a graphic for it on their website talking about, these are going to be happening. But extremely intrigued by what's going to be going on here and looking at the cards and what's going on here. We were all talking about before we did this video, it's kind of reminiscent of WWE's or WWF's In Your House pay-per-views, where they had the 4 main pay-per-views back in the 90s, the Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and Survivor Series. But in between them, they would have these, and not saying they weren't, up to par with those shows, but they were ones that they weren't focused on as much, but still shows, nevertheless, and were the In Your House pay-per-views. And that's kind of what it seems like what these are. And, having the name One Night Only kind of sounds like an In Your House kind of thing, so it's got that kind of feel to it. And with what they're doing on these cards, I'm intrigued to see what's going to be going on. I know one of the biggest things that I've always had a problem with wrestling is taped events. Live is obviously better in any form or fashion. That's something, they could have done differently maybe, but obviously with TNA and their schedules that they've always done with taping and, money issues that could have gone on with doing live events and obviously filling up the Impact Zone, which, they don't ever struggle to do. So interesting stuff there. Obviously the pricing, if they do put these out, are going to be interesting to see how much they are. Me personally, if they're going to put them out like a regular pay-per-view that you get monthly or whatever, to me it couldn't be any more than like $20. I think like 15 would be good in my opinion. You can't make it more than a DVD because basically it's like buying a DVD on your TV and watching it right there. Basically is what it is. So I don't think you could have it, pricier than that. I think it would get a little ridiculous. You obviously can't have the same price as a normal pay-per-view, not being live, not being current, with what's going on storyline-wise, what's going on with that. You got to kind of bring it back a little pricing-wise. But a lot of interesting stuff here going on with TNA, not only with what current they're doing, but these tapings now for the TNA One Night Only shows.
Yeah, as I was looking up these cards, they had one of the schedules for some of these shows, and it was like one of the tapings was at 1 o'clock, and the other was at 7. And especially with this tournament match where it was all in one night, some of these matches have to be at least probably 30 to 35 minutes, and these guys are probably just dead. So it should be interesting to see how these actually come off, especially since they're one of the last ones at the Impact Zone.
Yeah, they're definitely going to be working hard on these shows. I love this idea and this concept of it being like the In Your House. I think that's brilliant. I love the idea of the 4 main pay-per-views and the setup. You have the the 10 pay-per-view, which, they kind of go back to, I'm not going to give away any of the stuff, but they go back to kind of the style of 2006 where it was really about the quality of the wrestling and the match, you put guys together that meshed well together and have great matches. You have the World whatever Cup it was.
World Cup of Wrestling.
World Cup of Wrestling. You have
like an NWA show or something.
Yeah,
like that.
You have Team USA, Team International, Team
Aces and Eights.
Yeah, Aces and Eights, and you have like a Team UK or whatever. Then you got the Hardcore Justice 2, which is kind of like a hardcore type pay-per-view with some ECW type guys. So, I like the concept of all these different pay-per-views and different things. It is kind of interesting to see that they're taped, but also you look at the idea, okay, well, if these are $15, you already know the card, you already know the results of some of them, or what's going on. That looks like that's going to be a really good show. Hell yeah, I'll throw $15 on that, and I'll watch, if they're great. I can't wait to see this TNA 10 show. I think it's going to be fantastic. I think this is a great idea for them. Them building up storylines on their television product and going like that and doing it and then kind of having these separate pay-per-views for the other fans, I guess. Really smart move. TNA's doing a lot of different things right now. As long as they start getting some of the right people in the right positions when it comes to storylines and things like that, with the pay-per-views coming together and with the storylines coming together right now, TNA's looking pretty fresh and pretty interested to see what they're going to do. I know their television product right now is at least more entertaining. I know WWE's trying to keep their own thing going with WrestleMania, but that's a whole nother story when it comes to Raws and SmackDowns. They're so unbelievably boring and bad right now. TNA's the television product, I could probably say, is way better than WWE when it comes to keeping you interested.
I'll take Velvet Sky bent over. You said in the right position.
Good one. I didn't catch.
Shake your hand on that.
Catch.
Shake your hand.
That's a good catch.
Wow, stealing all my shit. Shaking the hand, too.
Well, why?
And the hood. And the hood. And the hood.
Absolutely. And I totally agree. Like we said with the In Your House aspect of these kind of feel, and the interesting feel is that each of these shows feel individual. They don't feel like they're the same at all. They all feel completely separate from each other. Like we said, the TNA 10 one really has the old school, like 05, 06, great, far as in-ring, ability and work that we usually see from these guys. If you look at the card, you could obviously tell that. a tournament, aspect of that, adding in the TNA title, however that's going to form into it is interesting. The hardcore element of the show that we've seen in TNA's past as well. And, doing a kind of team format, I think, like we've seen with, the World X Cup, like I talked about earlier. So, I mean, every one of these feels individual. They all feel different, and I think it would provide entertaining aspects to, all over, a wrestling fan. I mean, we've talked about how, us kind of watching different, indie stuff and all this kind of stuff. We see tournaments, we see like team-wise things like that. We see different, aspects of, the grueling kind of street fight things in different places like that. And seeing all these kind of come together and then adding in that, TNA 10, which is just TNA quintessential kind of stuff there, is just really interesting. I think all people would really find a way to, go out of their way and watch these shows. And we're definitely intrigued to when these are finally going to be coming out to the public, if they're going to, kind of sneak them in between, Slammiversary or Slammiversary and Bound for Glory, or however they're going to do it. We're going to be, anticipating these for sure, and be checking these out when they come out, and hopefully we get to see some of these very soon. But interesting stuff going on there with the One Night Only pay-per-views going on there with TNA. Should be some interesting stuff to look out for in the near future. Next up, we're going to be sticking with TNA, and we're going to be talking about really the biggest thing going on with TNA, which is the new World Heavyweight Champion, which is Bully Ray, and the new leader of the Aces and Eights, the dominant faction that has taken TNA by storm, being Bully Ray as well, and being the kind of mastermind behind it. And I think me, Robert, and Ryan were in the review for Lockdown when we had all this kind of stuff go down and kind of the immediate. And now we've kind of had some time to kind of think about what's going on. We've seen the impact after the Lockdown, and I really think they're capitalizing on this entire angle and what they're doing with Bully Ray and this faction. They're doing it, great. And I really think that, goes without saying, and my love for Chicago and my love for, live wrestling. I mean, you have to have your show live. You can't have it be taped, and they've had it live over the past couple months in the Impact Zone. But, like we said, we needed to get out of that and get into, crowds that want to see the product and want to see what's going on with your show instead of the same old people that, see this shit over and over again. So I think it was great to get out of there, have that first show be in Chicago after lockdown with some great stuff. I think that show was, really solid. I think our boy Kyle was actually at that live. He did a review for it, like a live reaction. Yeah, Kyle 965 went to that live. So, and he said it was some great stuff live, and it came off great on TV as well, the great stuff they did. And really, off the bat, focusing on what we're focusing on here, which is Bully Ray and the Aces and Eights coming out and taking out Chavo Hernandez and really just having that dominant, it's talked about all the time, that NWO feel of coming out and just attacking everybody. But it feels individual to what they're doing with it, and I think it works for them. And having Bully Ray be the head of it, we've talked about what a great character and what a great mouthpiece he is, and the great promos he can cut and everything there. And like I said, he had to find a way to win the TNA World Championship with something behind it. Outside of just winning the World Championship and being on his own, having the backing of, being the leader of this faction and moving on to what they could possibly be doing in the future. And we talked about the, this stuff going on with the TNA traditional kind of guys, like the AJ talk that we talked about at Lockdown, and interesting stuff happening with AJ, which I thought was awesome at this past Impact as well. So a lot of interesting stuff going on there, and I really think they're capitalizing well. It's still early with, Bully taking over Aces and Eights and all this kind of stuff, with the kind of interaction with everybody and Hogan and Sting and all that kind of stuff there. But right now they're off to, great start with Bully being world champion, heading the Aces and Eights going into the future and really taking over TNA.
Like I said in the Lockdown preview, all I really needed is somebody to be like the real mouthpiece of it. Because Devon, I really couldn't follow. D-Lo, Pastor Prime, just some of the other guys, just kind of washed up guys. If you put the world champion in there, as Bully Ray is now, it probably just leads you straight forward. Because now, before, Ace and Eight was just kind of like, oh, okay, here we go again.
Didn't have a solidified
It just kind of was just like dragging along. Now you have somebody just re-spark it, and the whole Bully Ray and Hogan stuff is just going to, I have a feeling it's going to lead up to their match at Slammiversary, which could be awful. Yeah. But it's
storyline-wise, it'd be very interesting.
Storyline would be right on track, but I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what comes out of this. But having Bully Ray as ahead of it is probably the smartest move TNA could have done.
Yeah, absolutely. I have absolutely loved Bully Ray for the last year. I think all the stuff he's been doing.
Calves.
I love his calves. Calvzilla, boy, I tell you what. But no, I kept thinking, I'm like, man, you know what? I love his character. Will TNA pull the trigger and just give this guy the title? It had to have some kind of specific way of doing it, or a special way of doing it. He's a great heel. He's, people just hate his guts. I fucking love him. I mean, it was perfect. The perfect setup for everything. I love where they're headed with this whole situation with him. He's lost a significant amount of weight, and he's become a much better worker when he's in there with a guy who really can work, and the AJs and the Aries and the Joes and the guys like that and the Angles. If he gets in there with those guys, he can really put on a show and show, listen, I'm not just a mouthpiece. I can work too if I really have to. And I think storyline wise, this is going to carry most of the stuff. But I think if he gets in there with some really good workers, he can have some really quality matches and some storytelling, which is very, very missing in wrestling, televised wrestling or WWE, TNA, whatever nowadays. But yeah, I think Bully Ray as the champion is a great move with the whole storyline and everything. Leading into everything they're doing, they just need to make sure they put him in there for the right opponents, continue the storylines on, and keep everything fresh. It's keeping me interested, so I'm happy with it.
Yeah, that's definitely important. I think that key, what he said there at the end there, keeping things fresh, because TNA has had the problem with dropping balls with things sometimes, where they start out with something outstanding and then they kind of just let it go and not really focus on it as much, not really give it the full attention that it needs. And I think this is something that they've built up well, and I think the foundation was really deep with this, and they really kind of set it down with the Devon stuff happening at Bound for Glory. This is stuff that happened for 9 months, and they really had this planned out and had the path to what they wanted to get to from an early time. So I think they have it in place for what they want to do. They just need to follow through, keep doing solid stuff, and keep doing the right things, with outside storylines. And I think the writing right now is tremendous. I really think they're doing a lot of great stuff with the setup and the stuff like that, and they're doing really driven storytelling, kind of old school ties of what they're doing. You see the stuff with AJ they're doing, the stuff the Aces and Eights are doing, Hogan and Sting, obviously all that kind of stuff. A lot of storytelling driven things going on here in TNA, which has really produced some great stuff, and hopefully they can continue that into the future. And with Bully Ray as champion and dominating and being the leader of Aces and Eights and taking over TNA, everything going on right now, great stuff there, and hopefully they can continue that into the future. Last topic up, we're going to be kind of just a giant-ass kind of WrestleMania, WWE kind of outlook discussion kind of thing going into, obviously, the biggest show of the year. It goes without saying what WrestleMania is every single year. It's that's what we're going to be looking forward to a little bit more than WrestleMania.
Good. I can't wait for that Mark Henry Ryback chair match.
Yeah, chair match. It's going to be great. Yeah. Hopefully we can get an even better stipulation on it. That'd be tremendous. But yeah, obviously, even better than a chair match.
Do a fight to the death.
A fight. Maybe they could murder each other. Maybe they could just have a wrestling match where they wrestle.
A double ambulance match where neither of them return.
Double buried alive match?
There it is. But yeah, obviously there's a lot of stuff in place for WrestleMania currently. You have, obviously, Rock Cena for the title. You got Punk and Taker set up. You got Tripp and Lesnar set up now with the stipulation, no holds barred, Triple H's career on the line. You got the sixth man with the Shield, Randy Orton, Sheamus, and it looks like Big Show now. You obviously got the world title situation with the story they're trying to get over there with Del Rio and Swagger. You got the tag titles with Hell No, Ziggler and Langston, Henry and Ryback as we talked about, and then it starts to get, all right, what the hell are we doing here down there? Still talks about a lot of random shit that they could be doing with some divas and some just blah fucking people and people that should be doing a little bit more. Stuff that possibly they could be doing with Jericho and Fandango, which just blows my mind. Just blows my mind. They might be doing at WrestleMania, which is my lord.
Let's bring back Chris Jericho to do that.
Yeah, have him wrestle Johnny Curtis as Disco Inferno, because that's all it is. It's basically all it is. I'm just like, really? All right, here we go. We have the U.S. IC title situation still up in the air. Stuff going on with kind of Barrett and Miz now for the IC title. Antonio Cesaro hasn't really been doing anything right now. He needs to hopefully, like we were talking about, I think Jericho and Cesaro would be outstanding to see that kind of just work that they could put on at WrestleMania would be outstanding, kind of a show stealing type thing there. Yeah, a lot of stuff that's already in place is kind of the stuff we've always been talking about. But it's still, it's the one thing, and really the only endearing thing to me, because everything else, we talked about Punk Cena, the lead up that they had to it, now adding in, with, Rock Cena? Oh, sorry, Rock Cena, not Punk Cena. Because, that's what should happen, like we were talking about. But, not having, it goes without saying, not having The Rock on your WWE champion, not having him on every single Raw, just Raws, not even every show, just Raws, leading up to WrestleMania is fucking ridiculous. You need to have him not only as the WWE champion, but as The Rock, having him build to this match that, The only reason they're doing this again is last year's WrestleMania was the highest bought, grossing WrestleMania in history. That's why you're seeing it again. Vince is all about the money, and he realizes what drew, because, nobody else wanted to see, Triple H and The Undertaker in a Hell in a Cell match, or, CM Punk and Chris Jericho for the WWE Championship. Nobody wanted to see that. They just wanted to see Rock and Cena. And all this stuff going on with the world title situation, which, in my opinion, is not WrestleMania worthy. The storyline has literally drawn out exactly how I felt it was going to draw out to a T, which is the predictability of the writing that WWE does. The six-man with a Shield, and then against Orton, Sheamus, and Big Show taking Ryback out of it is a lesser...
Well, Ryback's not getting taken out of it.
No, he's going to a quality matchup with Mark Henry. Taking him out of there, adding in the Big Show, is just a decline from what we saw at Elimination Chamber when the Shield had a six-man with Cena, Ryback, and Sheamus. I mean, that's obviously bigger than what we're focusing on here, and they're probably going to lose. I mean, it's like, whatever. But you have the tag titles, which is, what the hell is that? We can only hope that, Hell No retains and Ziggler cashes in at WrestleMania, which we've been hoping for the longest of times now.
Or Extreme Rules.
Or Extreme Rules. We could be there live for that. That would be fucking, that would be fucking tremendous. Tripp and Lesnar, which, like every single person in that arena this past, Monday on Raw, didn't give a shit. They were sitting with their fucking hands in their fucking pockets because they didn't care. And quite frankly, I don't care. It's just, he's like...
The only way I'm going to care is if Brock Lesnar F5's Stephanie.
Yes. There was a great line that Heyman said, he was going back and forth talking about it, just giving these BS like stipulations, just teasing Triple H. I'm going to make you handcuffed. No, that's not good enough. I'm going to shackle your legs. No, that's not good enough. No, the winner of this is going to get Stephanie. And then Heyman goes, actually, shouldn't the loser get Stephanie? I was like, that's fucking genius. And then Tripp went all crazy. Just Paul Heyman at his best. But adding in the no holds barred stipulation is like, whatever. I mean, we saw it at SummerSlam. It was basically a glorified street fight as it was. Brock Lesnar doesn't wrestle anymore. He's still like he has to get over this MMA side of Brock Lesnar, and that's not what we want to see. We want to see WWE Brock Lesnar. That's why you're back. Stop wearing your fucking Jimmy John's MMA fucking gear. Stop coming out trying to do a Kimura for 55 minutes. Wrestle. That's what we want to see you for. That's what we want, and we haven't gotten it yet. The stuff's still up in the air for the different mid-card titles. Me and Ryan had a discussion about that. There's no need for two of them, first off. I think it'd be great. We had a discussion trying to unify both the mid-card titles, do something with a bunch of guys throwing them in there, do like a kind of scramble thing. Or
bring back the Cruiserweight title.
Bring back the Cruiserweight title. We could have an entire topic show about that. Good Lord.
Justin Gabriel, Evan Moore.
A ton of guys that aren't getting used Tyson ridiculously. Kidd. Jericho and Fandango just... what's that?
Tyson gets hurt.
I think he's still hurt. Yeah. Either way, I mean, he gets hurt probably not wrestling because he doesn't wrestle anymore.
Moving ring gear, I guess.
Jericho and Fandango blows my mind how fucking ridiculous that is. I mean, just come on. Fandango saying that the fact that he deserves WrestleMania matches is not even up in the air.
If he debuts at WrestleMania against Jericho,
that's probably what they're gonna do.
Man, that's horrendous.
That's bad. And I mean, I can't even explain the waste of Chris Jericho. That is. Good Lord. If they throw some diva shit on there, they probably will.
What's the match that they were talking about, the 8-man?
They're talking about 8-man tag with Rhodes Scholars and the Bellas coming back. That made B Daddy J extremely happy. His love for the Bellas. Going up against Brodus Clay. Sweet T, Tensai. Nailed where he was going. Nailed it to a T where he was going.
Yep.
Against, I believe, Cameron and Naomi.
Yeah.
8-man tag.
Possibly.
I'm sorry,
8-person.
Gender tag.
Gender, I guess.
8-person tag. Yeah.
Well, we can't really say gender. We don't know if Tensai and
we don't know what's
Clay
going on there.
Or men or
interspecies erotica.
Interspecies erotica
going on there. So yeah. Outside of all that, the only thing, I will care about these other matches, but the thing that is just right there, yep, thank you, J-Man will be taking that, is CM Punk and The Undertaker. That is the endearing quality on this card that I care about the absolute most. I mean, there's, here we go. Oh, we add Letters to the Sky by Civil Twilight, one of the greatest songs ever created, to Rock and Cena's promo. That makes it so much more significant after we took it off of Randy and Cena's promo back in 2009 going into their Iron Man match at Bragging Rights. Yeah, but no, it's CM Punk and Undertaker. Way the fuck up here, because that's what I care about and that's what I want to see. Yes, this is tremendous, and adding in it sounds so bad, but having obviously the passing of Paul Bearer, one of the best managers, and is so important to the Undertaker's character, but adding that facet into this angle and having CM Punk bring it out,
so good with that.
He is so
stuff.
great. When you give him an inch, he'll take a fucking mile. I mean, he doesn't give a shit about anything. He will take whatever and he will do it to make that story so much better. And it is. I mean, it is so much better adding in that aspect of the story and having the dueling kind of poses with Kane and Taker like they did back in like 98 or whatever, and then having Punk come in and steal the urn and take out take out Kane and run away with that. Fucking tremendous. I mean, it's just outstanding. Cannot wait for that matchup. Like me and Ryan talked about, the only other thing that I think would be absolutely amazing if we saw this happen, I think, is to a T the best setup for this to ever happen.
Yep.
Which is John Cena's heel turn. Which you guys might be saying, what the fuck are you guys retarded? Obviously, with the setup to having, it's so looking like John Cena is going to win this match. It will be the new WWE champion after this WrestleMania match. If you have him lose this, if you have him say, bring it in, they showed in the highlight packages and the promo packages, his divorce and how much it caused him, emotionally trying to defeat The Rock, the only thing he hasn't gotten over in his career, and take the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 29. If he doesn't do that, and they do some sort of drawn-out heel turn, that would be fucking amazing. And I think would be something to freshen up the product, freshen up John Cena, because you have to imagine John Cena himself has to be getting sick and tired of what he's doing. He's probably wants something fresh and something new, and we all want that too from him.
Last time that happened, Hulk Hogan turned, and I mean,
the entire wrestling world changed, absolutely flipped on its fucking head. So I mean, to have that happen at a stage like a WrestleMania, in that as much atmosphere. As I hate that New York crowd, but that atmosphere would be fucking amazing. And to see that happen, I don't know how they pull it off. That's a booking kind of situation you'd have to see there. But that, CM Punk and The Undertaker, that's what I'm looking forward to. There's other stuff on this card that could be great. A Ziggler cash-in, some show-stealing matches if you have Jericho not in a Fandango match, because good lord. But outside of that, Punk and Taker all the fucking way.
Yeah, this card's looking very dull. Is what it comes down to, because we have the Trippin' Lesnar, already saw it. It's gonna be the same thing. Trips are, like J-Man said in pre-show, Trips already retired. What happened in the end of the era match last year, nobody really cares about. We have Team Hell No versus Rhodes Scholar, or No versus Ziggler and Big Langston. Next, I guarantee you half this. I'm gonna eat so much food during this match, during this card.
Big Daddy J better be ready.
Yeah, because it's going to be a lot of me peeing and all that, because a lot of this card is just like, oh my god, like, what are you thinking? What else is there? There's Shield, Orton, Sheamus. Who am I missing? Orton, Sheamus, Big Show. It'll be interesting, 6-man. I get to see Seth Rollins actually be on WrestleMania. Never thought I'd see that.
Ambrose, too. It's great.
Ambrose. Del Rio, Swagger. That, I'm really enjoying that. Back and forth, USA, Mexico. Not be racist, not Robert. Punk Taker, probably the best setup I've seen in a long time for a match coming from WWE. Just the way Punk is taking this Paul Bearer death, which is very sad because Paul Bearer was very good in WWE and great manager and all that, and just running with it. Like, he's taking what's going on in the WWE news and is taking off with it, which is very intelligent. And then Roxina. Didn't we see that last year? Wasn't it supposed to be once in a lifetime? Oh, it's twice.
They put a title on it, so it's.
Oh,
so
they put a title on it.
It's for the title now.
It's for the title now.
So
I don't want to break.
It's
anything.
bigger, right? Because it's for the title.
Yeah.
That's what she said, but I don't want to break anything. So
yeah, my happiest outcome outside of if a John Cena heel turn is what's going to happen. We got some plans for the WrestleMania review for one Quaddy here. You guys may not know Quaddy. You guys may not know Quaddy.
I have a deep dark secret.
You guys may not know Quaddy as much as you think.
Yeah.
We got a little surprise for you. Maybe. Yeah. We'll see.
I don't know. Depends on.
We don't know yet. He may not want to reveal that.
It depends on if I can pull it off correctly.
Depends on if he's not asleep after the match too.
Yeah.
Because like they tried to make like Hogan and Andre last year, and he might fall asleep.
I fell asleep during what pay-per-view? Oh wait, all of them.
I think Rumble you fell asleep for.
Well,
hold on. His hood back up.
Wow, motherfucker.
Well, there's a couple things that are going to have to occur in some of these matches for me to care. I know the 6-man with the Shield. I know there's going to be, they've done a couple of different things like that. I see it could be pretty good. The one thing I want to see is the Shield powerbomb the Big Show through a table or something. That's something I do want to see.
They have powerbombed him too, so it's possible to see him.
Yeah, so I want to see him go through a table or them do something like that. The Fandango Jericho, the only way I'll care about that is if it's absolutely hilarious. If they just make it in just a complete comedy match.
It's such a
Jericho squash.
It's such a Jericho thing to do to want to have that match. Too,
yeah,
it is. I could just imagine.
Is.
I'm gonna have a match with Fandango. Fuck it.
Whatever.
Fuck it.
The tag title match that could just be okay. I doubt it'll be anything special. Just kind of a.
We get to see Daniel Bryan wrestle for more than 18 seconds at a WrestleMania, though.
That's
a good thing.
Hopefully, that is true.
Yeah, hopefully. You never know.
I actually am, like I said, digging the Swagger Del Rio. We've talked. It's not a WrestleMania quality, world title match, but what does the world title mean anymore to WWE?
That's
really. The merging of the two titles, I think, is something they should have done. They have Miz flip-flopping back and forth between Cesaro and Wade Barrett. We don't know if Wade Barrett's going to have a match with the Miz. It looks like they could do what they do every year. They could have some kind of battle royal, and whoever wins faces Cesaro for the title. That may occur on a pre-show.
Santino may return.
Who knows? So there's a whole bunch of stuff going on with that. Lesnar and Lesnar and Triple H. We talked about that. I want more involvement. I want Stephanie involved in this storyline.
Yeah.
I think she should get involved. I think she would make it way better with the whole Paul Heyman back and forth. And I think she should be in Triple H's corner at WrestleMania, and Paul Heyman should be in Brock Lesnar's. And I think that would make for a better story.
I could really see Vince being in Tripp's corner as well.
I could see that as well. That possibly as well. So you're looking at that. Obviously, you get to Taker and Punk, which is the one most people, us at least, are looking forward to. I know Punk's. I think if I was CM Punk us as wrestling fans, CM Punk is a wrestling fan first, and he's a wrestling fan like us. So as a wrestling fan, wrestling the Undertaker at WrestleMania to me seems like the biggest honor in his career. Like, I see him being other than winning the title
his biggest thing, yeah, because outside of obviously Money in the Bank in Chicago, his biggest thing has always been, I want to main event WrestleMania.
Yeah. That's
his biggest thing. It's not going to happen here because obviously Rock and Cena are going to main event. But I think, obviously, Face and Taker Mania alone is huge.
I think could be one of the biggest accomplishments that he'll look back on and say, even, it most likely he will lose.
Especially at this point in Undertaker's career, he's handpicking his opponents.
Absolutely.
It's not something to where, okay, we're going storyline-wise, we have to build to this or whatever. If Undertaker wants to wrestle, it's because he wants to wrestle that guy. It's not something where WWE, okay, we have to put him in a match, so we'll have him face The Undertaker because, that's fucking huge. So, no, it's Undertaker, hey, I want to face that guy. That's because he realizes what CM Punk is. That's where it's
I agree with that, and that's the one we're looking forward to the most. And then we talked about the main event, which will be the main event, The Rock versus John Cena. The horrible build-up to this is really killing me, and I think unless they do some kind of heel turn or do some kind of big setup angle at the end of this, a straight-up win by one or the other just, to me, seems so anticlimactic. Like, it just seems like there needs to be something at the end of this that just, if you see that WrestleMania 17, just Stone Cold flip, that's what needs to occur. Yep. WWE's television product is so unbelievably bad right now. Like, it is almost unbearable to watch Raw. Like, it is so unbelievably boring. SmackDowns are horrible. You'll pick and choose through little spots with little funny segments with specific guys who are trying to get noticed, like Brad Maddox, or you get your Punk promos and you hear this, and then you'll have your guys like Daniel Bryan and Ziggler who want to go out there and put on quality matches. But other than that, you're getting squashes, you're getting shitty segments with people dancing, you're getting really shitty interview segments.
God, you're getting Pancake Patterson, Titus O'Neil.
Pancake Patterson.
Primetime players are genius.
You're getting just shit randomly thrown all over the place. So something big. They need a big revolving storyline right now, and I think a John Cena heel turn, which it's been talked about for so many years, this is the perfect opportunity for that to occur. And if they do not pull the trigger right here with it, I don't know what their plans are.
And they always do something going into the summer, too. They always want a big summer angle. This would be beyond belief that. Obviously, you had Punk's heel turn
You can carry this on the whole.
You could do this for another 5 years. It doesn't. Yeah. He has been the same guy for 7 years. I mean, if you look in wrestling years, that's forever. Like, look at a span of wrestling in 7 years. That's like going from like, I'm shitty at math, but like 97 until how many like years later is that? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, 04. 1997, 2004. Can you imagine how big the wrestling world changed in that frame of time? He's been the same guy for that amount of time. That's fucking crazy.
What else? Are you done?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. What also kills me is this whole Rock not being there, like J-Man said.
Yeah.
It's like spitting in the face of CM Punk. CM Punk held the title for how long?
430 days.
We need Robert for math.
32.
It's literally, I guarantee you he's out filming a fucking movie, or the G.I. Joe's coming out, or he's just, the Tooth Fairy 3 is coming, or...
I think that's one of the biggest reasons he is going past Mania is he has another movie coming out.
Oh, hot damn, we got another... Dude, you, like I've said multiple times, you're great back in your prime, in past prime. Why couldn't you let Punk continue on? We can see Punk Cena.
Right here.
There you go.
Right
Punk
here.
Cena at WrestleMania. That would be a lot better, but at least we get to see Punk first taker.
His face. He's popular.
Are you painting your face?
No, I was just saying his face.
Oh,
money.
yeah.
He makes money. He makes them money.
That's the reason. I mean, WrestleMania 28 was the highest grossing, best selling, buy rated, whatever WrestleMania in history. And WWE and Vince is gonna go off whatever the hell. Hell yeah! If this gets the same amount of buys, we might see Roxana 45 at WrestleMania. Fucking whatever. I mean,
Hogan Flair 107.
107 wheelchair death match. I mean, you're gonna keep seeing it because I mean that's what sells. That's what people's gonna see because that's what people equate to being WrestleMania. The bigness of that, and that's what people are gonna see. It's gonna get trumped by about probably 2 or 3 matches on this card as far as working ability, ring quality wise, because I just don't think, like I said, I just don't think that they don't put on quality stuff. That's why something outside, like what we're talking about, something outside of this match at the end of it, whatever leading into what's going to be going on after WrestleMania has to happen at the end of this matchup. Set up something with John Cena, something like that. We may sound fucking greedy because we're going to the pay-per-view right after WrestleMania, and it'd be great to see something like that happen going into that, but I mean, let alone, outside of that, like Ryan said, this product is just good God Almighty. It is so hard to sit through, stale as shit. They're doing shit that we've seen in the past, throwing in the old talent that going head to head with guys, the stuff. It's just like
squash matches,
wasted time. How they think the Raw should still be 3 hours blows my mind because it is just a complete waste of a fucking hour. There's probably an hour and a half, hour 45 minutes, 2 hours that they fucking waste on that show because there's literally like 2 or 3 segments that are worth watching on normal shows. But outside of that,
all about this.
Oh yeah, it's all about the money. That's true. USA will probably give them 24 hours on their fucking. They don't give a shit. That's their best rated viewing thing ever. So. They'll be all about that. But yeah, it may sound like we're shitting all over it. We're not. We're wrestling fans. We're always going to be looking forward to WrestleMania. That's for
like
sure.
Christmas. We just want to have a good one.
I mean, we just want it. We know what's good. We know what should be good. And this is going to need to do some work of the night of to really produce what should be WrestleMania quality. The names sound WrestleMania quality, but you got to still produce that quality outside of just putting the names on the paper. You got to actually deliver it. So we'll see what's going to be happening there in a couple weeks of WrestleMania. Should be some interesting stuff. Obviously the build continuing on there, but should be some interesting stuff going on into WrestleMania April 7th, I believe, something like that. I can't figure out the date, but yeah. This will now wrap up our Pulse Topix show from our partners Waddy and Ryan. I am J-Man, and thank you for watching another edition of Pro Wrestling Pulse, the Pulse, Professional Wrestling World.
Put your head up.